Hey guys, Jesse Casillas here once again, and today I'll be talking about communication, and then I'll also talk about the type of noise that gets in the way of communication. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few definitions provided by Schermerhorn in his book Core Concepts of Management. Communication is the process of sending and receiving symbols with meanings attached. We always think of communication as verbal, but it's also um, written, and as this states, it's the sending and receiving of symbols with meanings attached. Effective communication occurs when the intended message of the sender and the interpreted meaning of the receiver are one and the same. Efficient communication occurs at minimum cost in terms of resources expended, such as the amount of time involved. So, the least amount of time involved with the message being understood is seen as efficient communication. So, you might be thinking, what is this noise that you're referring to, Jesse? Well, noise is anything that interferes with communication effectiveness. There are different types of noise, and the types of noises that we find when we research such noise is semantic problems, absence of feedback, improper channels, physical distractions, status effects, and cultural differences. You can see why some of these get in the way of being fully engaged in a discussion. And I was also prompted to do some further research and learn more about noise, and then provide two specific examples of noise that I have personally experienced in communication. Um, I personally have been guilty of noise, specifically the guilty party when it comes to the interference of communication. And what I have experienced is psychological noise. And what this means is all the different thoughts that get in the way of um, relaying or receiving a message. It's these wandering thoughts that are quite distracting. And this type of noise is most distracting when the speaker is talking about an abstract idea, because one could have these types of wandering thoughts and yet still hear the overall message or meaning of the message. But when you start discussing something that's much more abstract, where you really need to start thinking more thoroughly and and it's hard to do that when your mind is completely wandering. So I have been extremely guilty in this part, as that is something I need to work on. I am a thinker by nature. I think all the time. My mind is constantly running. I'm thinking of a couple things right now as I'm uh, speaking on this topic here, and it can be quite distracting for you as well as for me. Another form of noise that I've been guilty of is sarcasm. That's just one of my types of humor that I partake in, and I can be a bit sarcastic when I feel humorous. So, according to some research, sarcasm is always noise to a listener unless the person already agrees with you. This just goes to show that sarcasm should never be used when trying to actually convince someone of an idea. So if you really do have an important message that you want someone to truly take in, you're trying to convince this individual that your idea is the best idea. Uh, or as Christians, if we're really trying to share the gospel with someone, we want to share God's love with them. We're giving them we're taking them down the Roman road, of the gospel, and sharing with them, but yet we get become a little sarcastic in the way we deliver this message. It's only going to hinder their understanding. So, um, sarcasm should be completely avoided when trying to convince someone, and I hope that I can overcome this. I don't usually become sarcastic when I am trying to convince someone of something. It is usually just when I'm kind of hanging around with someone, just kind of wasting time or whatnot. But yeah, absolutely something I definitely want to work on, and maybe it's something you want to work on as well. So noise can be very distracting. So just a quick recap. Talked a little bit about communication, effective communication, efficient communication, types of noise, and I gave you a couple examples that I personally experienced. And I hope this video has been beneficial to you. So I'll see you guys soon. God bless.